In this lesson, we're going to learn how to subtract integers. I want to start by showing a series of subtraction problems to get our mind thinking about what happens when we subtract a negative number. Let's look at 4 minus 3. We know that 4 minus 3 equals 1. If I do 4 minus 2, I know that equals 2. 4 minus 1 equals 3. And 4 minus 0 equals 4. Now you'll notice in this problem, I kept the 4 exactly the same. The numbers that we are subtracting by are decreasing, and the solution we are getting is increasing. You'll see that it's going up by 1 every time we decrease the number we're subtracting by. So if you look at the next problem in this pattern, the 4 would stay the same, and we would subtract negative 1 from 4, and the answer should be 5. And if I do 4 minus negative 2, the answer should be 6. So the question is, how do I get the solution to a subtraction problem when I am not subtracting a bigger number minus a smaller number, or when there are negatives involved? So in reality, we don't ever really subtract when we're working with integers. What we're going to do is we're going to change every subtraction problem to an addition problem. So let's write the steps down. We'll look at the very last example we had, 4 minus negative 2, and we're going to show how the answer actually equaled 6. The first step in an integer problem of subtraction is to change the subtraction to addition and take the opposite of the number you're subtracting by. Okay, so what a lot of people like to say is you keep, change, change. So for example, the 4 is going to stay a 4. You keep the 4. You change the subtraction. Actually, let me rewrite the problem here first. You keep the 4. You change the subtraction to addition. And you take the opposite of the number you're subtracting by, so that negative 2 will become a positive 2. And we don't have to write the positive in front of it. So we are left with 4 plus 2. Then, once you have that problem, the second step is to use the rules for addition. And we learned the rules for addition. If they have the same sign, you add and keep the same sign. If they have different signs, you subtract and give the sign of the bigger number. Since 4 plus 2 is the same sign, you just add the 4 and the 2 and you get 6, which shows the same answer that we had in the first example. So let's try a couple more of these. Okay, we're looking at negative 14 minus 9. Now remember what I said. It is keep, change, change. So negative 14 stays negative 14. Minus becomes plus. And this 9 right here is a positive 9. So it becomes a negative 9. So we're looking at negative 14 plus negative 9. The signs are the same. When the signs are the same, we add and keep the same sign. Just remember, we're picturing this. If I have 14 negative tiles and 9 negative tiles, I bring them together. I have 23 negative tiles. All right, let's look at the next one. Negative 10 minus negative 3. Again, keep, change, change. Negative 10 stays negative 10. The minus becomes a plus, and negative 3 becomes positive 3. Now my signs are different this time, and when they're different, you actually subtract and give the sign of the bigger absolute value, or the way I like to look at it is, do I have more negatives or more positives? I have more negatives because I have 10 of them. Therefore, I have 7 negatives left over after I combine those two. When I look at 6 minus 14, you have to realize that this is a smaller number minus a bigger number. So we do keep, change, change. The 6 stays a 6. Minus becomes plus. And that 14 is going to become negative 14. Okay, so the signs are different again. When they're different, I subtract those two numbers. I get 8. And this is negative again because 14 negatives is more than 6 positives. So I get negative 8 as my answer. And then looking at this last example, I have 21 minus negative 15. Keep, change, change. 21 stays 21. The minus becomes a plus. And negative 15 becomes positive 15. I'm adding two positive numbers. They are the same sign, so I add and keep the same sign. Okay, so try the sheet of subtraction problems and then move on after that. Good luck.